I have a shrink-wrapped physical copy of Apple's 2009 developer preview of Snow Leopard. This was never sold to the public, and they're pretty hard to come by now, especially sealed. So today, we're going to take a look at what's inside and do an installation sensation. Hey guys, how are you all doing? If you're new here, welcome. My name is Krazy Ken, and as of right now, Apple is hosting WWDC 2022, and they recently introduced macOS Ventura, which I covered in another episode of Krazy Ken's Tech Misadventures, but now I kind of want to do the same thing, but back in time. We're going back to 2009 with this developer preview of macOS 10 Snow Leopard. So first, I just got to say, I really like the design of this packaging because it's kind of like the Leopard box. But in the end, instead of sticking to this design for Snow Leopard, Apple changed to a literal snow leopard. So I kind of miss the space theme, to be honest, but I can understand why Apple would do this. My theory is, well, if you're marketing this to consumers and then you say, hey, there's a new version, well, consumers might be like, wait, it looks the same. So if you make it look like this, that makes it a little more obvious from a marketing standpoint that this is new. So anyway, this is before the Snow Leopard got on the box, and that's why I'm excited about it. And as we can see, the shrink wrap has definitely been through a lot. It's kind of getting gray and misty looking, but you know, it is about 13 years old. There's a little bit of a tear right here, so I think I'm just gonna start right there and just be nice and delicate. By the way, thank you to one of my viewers from Japan who sold this to me. I'm very grateful that you reached out, and I'm glad you kept it in the shrink wrap. That's really freaking cool. Let's just carefully remove it from the condom unit, and voila. Woo! Such a graceful fall. Okay, on the back there's nothing. It just says copyright 2009 Apple Inc., trademark information, nothing too fancy. But on the front we have that nice, shiny kind of, what's the technical term? Iridescent, I guess, design. It reacts with the light there. It does look a little bit faded. I'm not sure if it was made this way on purpose or if it just got that way over time, but it is nice and shiny. All right, so it looks like a booklet. I'm gonna try to open it up. It feels like it's stuck together. Not sure if that's, oh yeah, it got a little gunky. There's definitely some residue here. That's why I was trying to be careful opening it. I was like, is it taped shut? I didn't see any tape, so I was guessing it's probably just stuck shut with age. We have macOS 10 server Snow Leopard here. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know it came with the server version. And then we have Snow Leopard and Xcode. Xcode is Apple's development software to make apps. Oh my gosh, look at this. Whoa. Oh, those discs are pretty. Look at that space nebula and everything. Oh man, I really like the way these looked. Here, just for some nostalgic comparison, let's look at the Leopard disc. This one kind of had a vortex thing, and this is more of like a cloudy nebula sort of thing. It just, oh my gosh, that looks so freaking cool. Man, I really wish they stuck with it. Now that I'm looking at the disc, where the heck do you open this thing? It slides out of the side. Anyway, I just think personally, this theme is so much cooler than just a white background with a snow leopard on it. Again, I understand why they maybe changed it, but I think this looks so much cooler than that. I don't know, what do you guys think? Anyway, we'll put our cat to the side here and get back to business. Oh yeah, Leopard, you can join them too. There we go, macOS 10 Snow Leopard, developer preview, 2009. Just another nice indicator that this is not a public release. Let's set this carefully aside because that's what we're gonna need for the installation. Let's take a look at the other disc in here. Oop. There's no booklets or anything. It's probably all digital, but let's just have a look here. Pretty much the same thing, but here it says macOS 10 Server Snow Leopard Developer Preview 2009. So neat. There's the box and the disc. So now, let's set these two aside and bust out the client release. We don't really need the server version. And let's install it on a Mac. And I believe Snow Leopard is on here now, but we'll just reformat that partition, totally wipe it out, and then install this because I don't really need it. And while it's booting up, let's pop this in the optical drive. Ah, the first time that disk is being inserted. Yes, this looks like the public release of Snow Leopard. Let's just see. Version 10.6.3, 2 GHz Intel Core 2 Duo Mac Mini with 1 GB of RAM. Yeah. Well, we're running a 2009 OS, so I think we'll be okay. Ooh, check it out. Even the installer icon has the beta artwork on it. Oh, it's so cool. Let's see what's under optional installs. Xcode. Okay, we should probably just install that stuff for fun. That's the developer software stuff. Let's just take a look at instructions. Welcome to Snow Leopard. Let's see what that says. I was really just trying to see if there was any like developer-y language in here. Ooh, this actually is kind of an interesting thing that I'd like to see. The QuickTime player didn't look like this in the final release. This interface is a little more flat. The final release had more of a glossy look. They were redesigning QuickTime for Snow Leopard. And yeah, there's some changes here, like the recording time indicator and stuff like that, and the way this HUD looks. Yeah, some little UI tweaks that weren't in the final release. That'll be fun to poke around at. And I think the QuickTime logo was also pink. The final release has it blue, so that'll be another cool little thing to look at. Snow Leopard Developer Preview Installation and Setup Guide. There we go. That's some more developer-y language. I don't know, it just feels special. This is what I like to see. Important, macOS 10 Snow Leopard Developer Preview is pre-release software. Do not use this pre-release software in a commercial operating environment or with important data. Huh, that language sounds familiar. I think I just heard that when I was installing Ventura. For more information about the Snow Leopard Developer Preview, see the latest Snow Leopard seed notes in the downloads area at Apple Developer Connection, connect.apple.com. All right, pretty sweet. Let's open this up and see if it fails. We're going to go into utilities, though, because we need to use disk utility to format this partition and install this fresh. That's not my password. What's my password? Oh, gosh, what's my password? I set this thing up forever ago. Oh, it's 1234567 Okay. Advice, don't do that on a normal system. This is just a guinea pig computer. All right, we are rebooting into the installer environment now. And for fun, let's do it in verbose mode. What else are you going to do while you're waiting for the disk to load? Might as well watch it do the thing. Oh, Darwin kernel 10.0.0 B1. I'm guessing the B means beta? I could be wrong about that. That's my favorite. DS Moss has arrived. It just sounds like we're waiting for him. Oh, he's here now. Good. It stands for Don't Steal Mac OS, by the way, in case you were wondering. Blue screen, that's good. In Windows, that's bad. But in Mac OS 10 Snow Leopard, that's good, usually. There we go. Let's use English as the main language, unless we want to challenge ourselves. All right, so I'm hopping into disk utility quick just to format the installation partition and give the system a clean slate to install to. And we're good to go. So we'll quit out of there. Back to the installer, select Macintosh HD, and customize. Let's see what goodies we've got here. Printer support, I don't think we're going to be printing. Don't really need that. Turning that off saves a lot of disk space and a lot of time. We don't really need additional fonts, I don't think. Different languages. Rosetta for PowerPC app support. Sure, why not? Let's go ahead and hit OK. Boom, install, and hope it works. Barber pole animation, that's a good start. And installing, about 20 minutes remaining. It's been stuck at 17 minutes for a while. This is literally like the scene from The Matrix Runs on XP.
Progress bar is moving, but the remaining time is going up.
While we're waiting for this to install, I might as well mention I dropped my first ever sticker merch on my Etsy. You can go ahead and check it out with the link in the description. Got a new Computer Clan logo sticker that's iridescent. It reacts with the light. Everyone wants an edit button on Twitter, so I made edit buttons. You can just go ahead and stick these anywhere. And some parody bumper sticker type stickers, like my other computer is a Nextcube and my other computer is a Commodore 64. This seems to be the fan favorite so far. So yeah, go ahead and check them out. Autographed items available, worldwide shipping, and I hope you enjoy. Well, installation has succeeded. The progress bar was like chilling at 8 minutes for a while and then just boom, to the end. I wonder if this version has the intro video in it. I would imagine it would. I don't know why Apple would get rid of that. Oh, looks like it's doing something. Video? I think so. With copyrighted music, so I don't think... Yeah. I'm gonna mute it. I did do an acapella version of this on a Krazy Ken episode a long time ago, but we can enjoy the visuals, just not the music. That was a delight. There's our nice cube transition, which is cropped improperly, if you saw that cutoff there. Beautiful. Graphic design is my passion. All right, let's go through the setup assistant. Keyboard, US. Don't transfer my information. I don't have any information. Connecting to Apple. Oh, maybe that's not a good idea. They'll be like, who is this guy 10 stories underground that's booting up this 2009 developer preview? It's so old. Let's send a magical signal to it to make it explode. Please don't do that. Boom. Continue. And to the desktop. And I will press eject and get that disk out of there so we don't keep hearing that disk drive. As much as I love that soothing sound. And the first thing I want to check is honestly the QuickTime thing. I want to see if the icon is pink. Oh, it's not. What? It's still... They still have like the old icon. I wonder if this is actually version 10 though. It is version 10. Okay, so that's interesting because in the developers conference, they showed a pink new icon, and this is just the older QuickTime icon, but it is version 10 though. So I can throw some media on here and we can test it out. But just for starters, let's take a look at File, New, well, we don't have a camera, so let's do just a new screen recording just to see the interface. And yep, there's some subtle differences here. If my memory serves me correctly, Snow Leopard, the final release, had a black stop icon for stop screen recording. Same thing with up in the menu bar here. This version is red, so a subtle little tweak there. I'm gonna hit cancel. And let's try an audio recording just for fun, just to see what the UI looks like. Oh yeah, this is different. This has a bit of a flatter look here with some more grays mixed with the blacks. The final release was a little more simplified, less different color neutrals, and it was a little more, I guess, glossy looking in spaces. So yeah, it's kind of cool to see a prototype, beta, quote-unquote, user interface for the new QuickTime player. As per tradition, we must christen the system by going to the About This Mac window. And there it is, version 10.6, and I don't have all the build numbers memorized, but I'm willing to bet this is not a public build number. But yes, 10A380. And I just double-checked on Mac Tracker right now, and 10.6's first build number was 10A432, and this is 380, so that predates it. There are other build numbers for specific versions that come shipped on certain computers, but considering how low this number is compared to 432, I think it's pretty safe to say this is a pre-release, even though we already confirmed that. We're just confirming it another way now. Good stuff. By the way, if you do want to see another special version of Snow Leopard, my Nemo iMac was in a special episode, 2 episodes actually. And that computer was accidentally released from an Apple factory or facility or something before the internal software was wiped off of it. So it's running a special version of Snow Leopard with a lot of internal software on it. And it's just really cool to see, so go ahead and check out that episode too. Okay, so with my handy dandy flash drive, I transferred a video file to the system here, and we can test this out. Let's test out some of the... Oh, well, this is a bug. Well, it is a beta, so what I was trying to do was I was trying to make the desktop icons bigger because one of the new features in Snow Leopard was you could play videos on the icons, but the icon sizing is not doing anything. So, do you think if I file a bug report, Apple will pay attention? Nah, that's stupid. Let's just open it up in the Finder and crank it up like this. All right, so that feature works great. Perfect. And now we'll open it up in QuickTime since that was one of the main things I wanted to look at. Yes, look at that. It is, I know it's a subtle thing, but it's really cool to see this different user interface because this is not how it looked in the final release. The top bar, the way it looks glossy and black, that's the same, but this controller here is different. That actually looks more like how classic QuickTime looked in full screen mode. They must have just brought that over, but they did change that for the final release. So far, so good. And this is kind of meta because I'm here and I'm also there, and macOS Ventura is here on macOS 10 Snow Leopard. Oh, the meta hurts my brain. And just for fun, there's the version screen next to the controller, and this is something you don't really see. You don't see version 10.0 with the old icon there. That is another indicator of this being pre-release software. Small changes, but I think they're noteworthy and pretty cool. Mission accomplished on that end. Now, unfortunately, there's not a lot of flashy new features in Snow Leopard. Snow Leopard was a lot of under-the-hood changes, and I talk about that stuff in my macOS 10 history and tier list episode. If you haven't seen that, definitely check it out. There's not a lot of visual things to really show. The new stacks were cool, how you can open up subfolders in a stack. That was a new feature in Snow Leopard that you didn't have in Leopard. But other than that, visually, there's not a lot of cool things to show. Now that I think about it, there was one other visual change in Snow Leopard. Oops, I forgot my right click is not enabled. Abort. Ooh, that wasn't in there yet. I just realized that. I was going to say a change in Snow Leopard was the right click menus in the dock were black, but in this build, they are still white. Okay, well, you learn something new every day. However, there was one other visual change with the dock expose, and to demonstrate that, I just need to open up a bunch of stuff. And if this feature works, you should be able to click and hold on an app icon in the dock, and it should go into dock expose mode, which it actually doesn't. Okay, I guess that was a feature that was still being worked on, where you click and hold and it fans out the windows. Yeah, that wasn't in this build. Well, I'm a little surprised. They demoed it at the keynote, but I guess it just wasn't ready yet, so never mind that. Hey, did I mention this is a beta? We're not stopping there. For fun, we'll bust out the Snow Leopard disk once again and install the developer tools. And we'll poke around with those for a bit to see what they were like back in the day, because I'm willing to bet after 13 years, things have changed. Let's pop it in. I have not used Xcode in a long time. I used to tinker in it and make some silly applications, but it's been a long time since I've done that. Type in the super secret password. Preparing for installation. 35 minutes? I thought this would be quicker than the OS. It was actually worse like 2 seconds ago. It was like at 46 minutes and then it just jumped down to 41 and then to 35. But hey, I'm not going anywhere. I'm 10 stories underground. It's not like there's things to do. I really wish that underground Jimmy John's would open. Okay, it's actually moving along okay. We might be fine. Okay, that actually finished a lot faster than I thought. The estimated time moved really quick. It is done. Close, close, eject. Let's have a look at what we have installed. Oh, dash code. Oh man, you remember this? To make the dashboard widgets, which, you know, these types of widgets aren't a thing anymore. There's still widgets in Apple's platforms, but not quite like this. Dash code was how you made those. Nostalgia just slapped me right in the face like a wet fish. I'm gonna brush off my Cocoa experience from 2009. I'm gonna see if I can do just a simple demo. Won't really code anything. I'm gonna cheat and just use Interface Builder. Don't hate me. The perfect name for the perfect app. Okay, so this is what Xcode looked like back in the day. Quite a bit different than it is now. We have our .h and .m files here, p-lists. This is where we could set like the product name, the version number, stuff like that, if I'm recalling this correctly. And then here is the XIB. This is an uncompiled version of the interface. Compiled versions are NIB files. XIBs are the ones that are editable. Let's double click that and it should open up Interface Builder. And we'll try to build a very simple interface. Just an application with like no real code going on. Here is where you would build the interfaces. We'll hide Xcode for now. This is the window. This is what the menu bar will look like. This is where you edit all that stuff. And then here's the library of objects you can drag into the window. And then here's the inspector to change all of the attributes of anything you want to edit. So let's take a look. It's in a book, Reading Rainbow. A slider, beef slider. I'm hungry. Anyway, horizontal slider. We'll drag that right into here. And then we'll take like a empty text field. Text field right here. I think if you control, click, and drag, you can make a connection from one object to another, and then it gives you options. I just have to remember which one it is. Let's do take integer value. What's the difference between int value and integer value? I always forget. Let's just do integer. Now we should be able to assign the value, so we can do a maximum and a minimum and what the default position is. So maybe we can have it go up to 200 and start at 100. I guess just compile, Command K. Oh, build. Build successful. And now I guess I have to run it. And there's Krazy Ken's dumb test. And if I did this right, there you go. I drag the slider and the numbers appear in the text field, which should also be editable because I didn't say it couldn't be. And then up here we have the default menus, everything in the application, and we can go to About Krazy Ken's Dumb Test, and there is version 1. Guys, you are witnessing the infancy of a revolutionary new application, which I will now forget about for the rest of my life. So guys, thanks for coming along with me on this nostalgia trip, especially when it comes to pre-release software that was shrink-wrapped. This was a fun one. Again, if you haven't checked out my Ventura episode about the new version of macOS, check that out too. And my macOS 10 tier list episode was also really cool. Feel free to check that out as well. And feel free to subscribe for more tech episodes coming out every week. I love making episodes about rare and retro tech, new tech, and of course, scam tech. And hey, if you like this episode, you know what to do. Thanks, and I'll see you next time. Catch the crazy and pass it on.